Tonight on News 5 Live, the Ministry of Health issues a warning amid an increase in the active COVID-19 numbers. An amendment to the fisheries regulation has fisher folks in arms. And ground is broken for the upgrade of the Philip Gosen Highway and the Ramate bypass. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
Toyota responds. Toyota always responds. When you buy a Toyota from an official dealer, you not only get the most accurate car for your country, but also the best companion in every step of the journey. Getting your Toyota at official dealers brings you closer to original spare parts, to top maintenance, to the most specialized service. But most importantly, you will never be alone. Get your Toyota in an official dealer and we will always be there for you. Toyota.
Staying connected with your loved ones while traveling is even more important during this global pandemic. With Digi, this is even easier and more convenient with our data roaming plans. Postpaid customers have instant access to mobile data when in 41 destinations worldwide. With 3 affordable plans, starting at only $28, it's easy to instantly connect via your favorite digital platform. To purchase your data roaming plan, contact Digi before your travel date. If you are already abroad, you can contact us via email at digihelp@livedigi.com or via WhatsApp at 608-8888. For more information, visit our website at livedigi.com/digicel or visit a Digi store near you. You can roam, stay safe, and stay connected with Digi.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, May 10th. I am Sabrina Daly. COVID-19 cases are once again on the rise. 117 new cases of COVID-19 infections were identified over the last 4 days, bringing the total number of active cases to 236. Late this evening, the Ministry of Health and Wellness issued a warning, taking note of the steady increase. The release encourages the public to safeguard against COVID-19. The ministry recommends that persons continue to wear masks over their nose and mouth in indoor and crowded spaces, a practice that was mandated at the height of the pandemic. The ministry is also encouraging Belizeans to practice the regular washing and sanitizing of hands, to social distance, and avoid crowded spaces whenever possible. This warning comes several weeks after curfew restrictions and mask mandates were lifted. Social gatherings were also prohibited at the time, but are now permitted. Bars and nightclubs that were shuttered for 2 years are now at liberty to host social events. The entertainment industry has since taken advantage of the ease of restrictions with weekly events that continue to draw large crowds. Other massive social events are scheduled all the way up to September, including the Agriculture and Trade Show grounds and Carnival. It is yet to be seen whether Belizeans will take heed to the Ministry of Health's regulations and whether there will be a need to revert to some of the COVID-19 restrictions that were once being enforced. In the meantime, MOHW is encouraging eligible persons to get vaccinated and get a booster against COVID-19. They've been clamoring for months for some type of relief in the price they have to pay for fuel to run their businesses. Similar to what has been done for the bus operators, the government has responded to the call of tour and tender operators through the Belize Tourism Board. This morning, BTB's Director of Cruise, Quality Management and Capacity Development, Abil Castaneda, told reporters that $1.5 million have been allocated for the subsidy, which will run for 6 months. Approximately 350 licensed tour and tender operators across the country can apply for relief, he announced.
The application is there so that we can understand what their level of fuel consumption is in the past, and also to look in terms of some projections for the future, so that we can finalize in reality a formula that we can use to provide the subsidy in a very equitable manner. No? In the initial thought process was we would give everyone a cap. However, every tour operator, unlike other sectors, they have different use of fuels. You know, there are some that are in the marine area, some that are terrestrial, some that do tours all the way to Sean Antoinette, some that only do tours in Altunha. So we have to be very considerate of all of those elements. And that is why we are making this call for all licensed tour operators to kindly submit their application. The objective of all of this is to try to soften the blow in terms of the increase in fuel prices that we're seeing across the board.
The initiative came on stream 2 weeks ago, but many tour operators have not applied for the assistance. Hence, the BTB has put out the notification to encourage those with legitimate tour operations to apply. These are businesses that are required by law to have majority shareholders who are Belizeans. But while tour operators are urged to take advantage of the initiative, Castaneda explained why tour guides do not qualify.
The way the industry works and is structured, a licensed tour guide must work through a tour operator. So whether it be as a permanent tour guide, or you are a freelance tour guide, or you're an independent tour guide that comes in temporarily depending on how the work looks. So in reality, the tour operator is the one that has the business. A tour guide is not a business. It's a person that is able to take a group of people to a site and give them the story and experience behind that. But they do not sell, or they should not sell. They should not advertise. And so the tour operator does that. So they do the selling, the advertising, they should do the arrangements, and at the end of the day, they are the ones that are also liable in case anything happens.
While Belize continues to rebound following the onslaught of COVID-19 on our economy, it has required skillful planning to get things back to where they were before the pandemic wreaked havoc in the country. At the heart of BTB's plan to revitalize an otherwise depressed industry are getting the hotels back up and running to an export-ready quality and helping to mobilize tour and tender operators to move the tourists around. Now that COVID cases have subsided and tourism is recovering, these are the best days that the industry has seen. But not without some slow points, as BTB's Director of Cruise Quality Management and Capacity, Abil Castaneda, informed today.
Well, we were seeing very good numbers going up to December of 2021. We did have a dip due to the Omicron wave that happened, especially in North America and here in January, February. But after like mid-February, we began to see a rebound once again, going back under the same type of trend lines. I mean, I think by end of December last year, we were near to anywhere between 70 to 80% of pre-COVID numbers in terms of the trend line. And we began to see that again February, March, and April. Now with the Easters, the final boost that the industry is used to. And currently, as I was mentioning earlier, we're seeing a bit of a decline right now, but it is the usual decline, both in overnight and in cruise. Now, looking forward to the new season that is coming around, that is looking very, very healthy for us. From the cruise sector, for instance, that I coordinate, cruise lines are mentioning they would be anywhere between 90 to 100% recovered and back in the new season that is coming our way.
Coming up, the Belize Peace Movement pushes for the redistricting exercise, notwithstanding a claim before the court. Details when we return.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "Though you have lain among the pots, yet shall you be as the wings of a dove covered with silver and her feathers with yellow gold." In April of 1980, I made my first trip to Belize and spent a week sharing the good news of our gospel with our dear friends at Big Falls, where I learned it rained 161 inches a year, and I think we got all 161 inches that week. At the end of our ministry there, a dear farmer friend by the name of Tony invited us to his home for a delicious Belizean meal. His home was located right on the banks of the Big Falls River. We had to walk a long way to get there, and with all the rain and mud, one could not but wonder how anyone could stay clean in such an environment. Yet after the meal, I walked outside to see his beautiful young daughter standing near the river, dressed in a white dress without spot or wrinkle. Amazed, I thought, if a person can stay that clean in such a dirty, rainy, muddy environment as this, then why can't God's children learn to stay clean in a dirty world? Our Bible verse for the day assures us that we can. While we journey through this life, we often find ourselves living among the pots of wickedness and lawlessness and brokenness and drunkenness and darkness. However, it gets better higher up. The psalmist says it best, "Though you have lain among the pots, yet shall you be as the wings of a dove, covered with silver and her feathers with yellow gold." Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
In the past year and a half, there has been more infrastructure works done than in 3 terms of the previous administration. That is a fact. Working with integrity, commitment, and a clear plan, the government of the People's United Party has upgraded streets and roads in rural communities across this country. New streets have been created, allowing for land expansion and allowing farmers to reach their fields. A focus has been on sugar and citrus roads because we understand the importance of these industries to the country. Culverts have been placed in flood-prone areas, and newly formed road maintenance units work every day to keep our communities and road networks clean. We are serious and we believe in hard work. In a year and a half, we have done so much together. Let us continue on this strong record. Forward together. We will continue to deliver on Plan Belize.
Energy includes the electricity you use daily and so much more. It's in constant evolution, from changes in the light bulbs you use at home to the cars you drive. At Belize Electricity Limited, we remain committed to delivering safe, reliable, and sustainable energy solutions, and we continue to care for communities we serve countrywide. Join us on the What's and Why's of Energy Facebook Live show, where we discuss all things on energy, our services, and so much more.
The Department of Fisheries has updated the fisheries regulations ahead of the 2022 season, and a community of fishermen is not happy about the changes. Those amendments, which took effect on March 1st, 2022, includes a change of the tail weight from 4 ounces to 4.5 ounces, as well as an increase in the escape gap size of the lobster trap to above 2 inches, and the specification of the number of traps allowed per fisherman, per fishing vessel. A group consisting of fisher folks from Key Caulker, Shanush, Copperbank, Sartaneja, Rio Grande, Placencia Village, and San Pedro Town, via a press release, says the new regulations threatens their livelihood. They argue that lobsters bigger than 4.5 ounces are rare in Belizean waters, and as a result, their catch will be reduced to 25% of previous year's haul. But the Department of Fisheries says the new regulations have been long in the making. According to Rigoberto Quintana, the acting fisheries administrator, Belize signed a binding regional lobster regulations document in 2009 with OPESCA, which required countries to make these legislative changes. A decade later, in 2019, Belize was still not in compliance with the binding document.
We are part of the Organization of Fisheries and Aquaculture in Central America. Whatever we sign at the ministerial level, those become binding for Belize. Part of those regulations is that Belize had to harmonize the close season, which we have done over the past 2 years now. This last 2 fishing seasons, we have harmonized those to be from the 1st of March till the end of June. We have also, that also required for us to increase the size limit for lobster, to regulate the number of traps to be allowed per fisher or per vessel. Also to look at other measures such as the escape gap in traps. So that led to that. So in 2018, 2019, which Belize had not complied then, OPESCA write a letter to our government saying, you know what, let's review why you have not implemented this regulation. So Belize requested for an extension up to 2019 to implement some of these measures in place. So we have had these ongoing discussions, especially at the levels of the cooperative and some of the fisher associations. June last year, we had these discussions again, and the main exporters, which is Northern National and Rainforest and Fenkia, they say, you know what, let's move forward with this, but let's do it for the next fishing season. And that's why we passed that law last year, and maybe the public have it wrong, but the regulation come into force the 1st of March. They are in effect now.
Fisher folks contend that the Department of Fisheries has not provided proper consultations on the changes. These fisher folks are now requesting a meeting with the Minister of Blue Economy to ventilate their concerns. On the other hand, Quintana contends that they are being consulted.
In terms of fisherfolk representation in Belize, maybe some fishers are not aware, but we have the highest decision body in this country, which is the Fisheries Council. And there we have 4 representations of fishers. We have the Shonosh Fishermen Association, we have the Hopkins Fishermen Association, we also have the 2 largest cooperatives, which they form part of the council and they participate in this decision. Whether this information is not being channeled to the other fishermen is something that we have to discuss further, but they are informed of all the measures the department is taking and they are being consulted.
The Belize Peace Movement held another press conference today to provide an update on a recent decision by Acting Chief Justice Michelle Arana not to strike out the redistricting case that is before the Supreme Court. Attorneys Arthur Saldivar and Michelle Trapp were joined by Hubert Enriquez and several others from BPM to discuss the latest developments.
And there was a ruling from the Madam Chief Justice as it relates to her decision on that application, having heard arguments from the Attorney General's representative, Ms. Samantha Matut Tucker, as well as myself and Mr. Arthur Saldivar, who were the claimants respondent in this application. Application to strike out was brought on several grounds. And there was a hearing in which we basically had to defend and argue before the court why they ought not to strike out this matter. And when we say strike out, basically it means if the court had ruled in favor of the applicants, that there wouldn't have been any continuing matter before the court having to do with the redistricting case. And so when this application was brought, it was a very, very serious matter. I recall the claimants, they even put in tyranny abounds and so on, and I could appreciate why they would feel that way. And so having heard the matter, her ladyship ruled in favor of the claimant's respondents.
According to attorney Arthur Saldivar, who is representing the Belize Peace Movement in this matter, decisions rendered by the court should be progressive. In the context of the pending redistricting, issues surrounding this long-delayed process should be rectified ahead of the next general elections.
Any judgment is forward-looking. So we're talking about addressing what exists now so that in the future, whenever a new election is called, the problem would have been corrected for that upcoming election period. So prior to the 2020 election, there was an injunction that was applied for because the claim had already been put before the court. But given the timeline and other considerations in terms of the financial outlay that the government had already made for the elections to be held, it was deemed that an injunction would not have been in the interest of the public. As a result, the election was allowed to proceed, and now we are here at this juncture, that having passed. So that would basically relate to that portion where the Chief Justice is saying, let's not deal with item 4 and 6 of the claim because that election has already gone. Once we deal with the government of the issue, which is whether or not Section 90 is being complied with, if that is corrected, then by extension, automatically, what has been brought up in items 4 and 6 of the claim would be fixed. So that should be fixed before the next election because this case now is up for completion.
After the break, a new appeal judge takes the bench, and it's Nurses and Teachers Week. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
What does live and let live mean to you?
Live and let live means that I can be a mother and have a career.
It means treating people the way you would want to be treated.
And making sure your business is accessible for all Belizeans.
It means that everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect.
It means to love your children no matter what.
It means to support people who face discrimination.
It means that men and women should be treated equally at work.
It means that everyone is able to contribute to building Belize.
It means saying no to all forms of discrimination.
It means love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Live and let live. Respect for all Belizeans.
Applying for a Social Security sickness benefit? Here's what you need to know. A complete claims package include 1. Sickness claim form fully completed by the claimant and medical doctor. 2. Salaries record form completed by the employer or HR representative. 3. Proof of bank account such as bank book, online banking, or statement displaying your name and account number. To submit via email, you need to take a clear photo or scan of the documents and email to claims@socialsecurity.org.bz. Be sure to include your full name, social security number, and benefit type in the subject line of the email. Or you can drop off all completed forms into the Dropbox slot at the nearest branch office. Deadline to submit is 14 days from your first day of illness. All forms are available on the website at www.socialsecurity.org.bz. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Staying connected with your loved ones while traveling is even more important during this global pandemic. With Digi, this is even easier and more convenient with our data roaming plans. Postpaid customers have instant access to mobile data within 41 destinations worldwide. With 3 affordable plans, starting at only $28, it's easy to instantly connect via your favorite digital platform. To purchase your data roaming plan, contact Digi before your travel date. If you are already abroad, you can contact us via email at digihelp@livedigi.com or via WhatsApp at 608-8888. For more information, visit our website at livedigi.com/digicel or visit a Digistore near you. You can roam, stay safe, and stay connected with Digi.
It's almost Mother's Day, and what better way to celebrate than with an awesome gift for your lovely mom from Samsung. Show your mom some love. Treat her to a Samsung A-series device. The affordable lineup includes the Galaxy A03 Core, A03s, A12, A22, A32, A52s, S20 FE, S21 FE, Galaxy Buds 2, and even the Tab A7 Lite and Tab A7 LTE. Every Galaxy purchase from an authorized reseller comes with a 1-year local warranty that will make mom love that Galaxy even longer. So head over to any of Samsung's official partners, including Cellular World, Digi, Odette's Home Center, Ibari, and Westrap, and show your mom how awesome she is this Mother's Day with a Samsung A-series phone or tablet.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
What is the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine? The Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is an RNA vaccine that triggers our immune system to develop antibodies against the SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19. It helps to reduce hospitalization, severity of the disease, and death. What is the Pfizer vaccine made of, and is it safe? The Pfizer vaccine is made up of mRNA messenger ribonucleic acid, which are molecules that carry the genetic information needed to make proteins, lipid, salts, and sugar. It is safe for persons 12 years and older and does not contain the COVID-19 virus, hence cannot cause infection. Tests have shown that the vaccine is effective against current virus variants. Who should take the Pfizer vaccine? The Pfizer vaccine should be taken by persons 12 years of age and older who do not have severe allergic reaction after a previous dose of vaccine or have not had severe allergic reaction to any ingredient of this vaccine. 2 doses of the vaccine are required 3 weeks apart. If you are between the ages of 12 and 17 years, you are required to present a signed consent form before you are vaccinated. What are the side effects of the Pfizer vaccine? Some common side effects of the Pfizer vaccine are headache, fatigue, muscle pain, fever, chills, and swelling at the injection site. If side effects persist, contact your doctor as soon as possible. Does the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine prevent infection and transmission? No, vaccination alone does not prevent infection and transmission. We are still required to continue to wear masks properly, physically distance, wash and sanitize hands often, practice proper coughing and sneezing hygiene, and avoid crowds.
Compostable plastics. To understand what a compostable plastic is, we need to know that composting is a natural way to recycle decomposed organic material like oranges or banana peels. So, a compostable plastic is similar to the banana peel in the sense that it also undergoes biological decomposition in a compost site and doesn't leave any toxic residue. In fact, it breaks down into carbon dioxide, water, inorganic compounds, and biomass at a similar rate of compostable materials. This is great because once properly disposed of, compostable plastic food packaging would be broken down in a manner much kinder to the environment compared to plastics. The recycled materials would return to Earth quickly and safely as soil when disposed of in the right environmental conditions and temperatures. It's important to note that for decomposition to occur, all compostable products must reach a sanitary landfill where there is proper management of the waste through disposal and treatment. Click on the link below to see what you can do to help end the nightmare of single-use plastics. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
A new judge for the Court of Appeal has been sworn in. Governor General Dame Froila Salam today sworn in Justice Arif Balkan during a virtual ceremony. The Governor General commented at the swearing-in that she is of the view that Justice Balkan is an asset to Belize's justice system. The Attorney General Magali Marin Young noted that Justice Balkan has served in the same capacity in Guyana and has experience in human rights and criminal law, as well as experience as a law lecturer and published writer on constitutional law. Marin commented, quote, "We think it is a plus for Belize that he honors us in joining our bench, and I certainly look forward to reading his judgments, which I am sure will enhance our jurisprudence," unquote. Teachers and public officers are no doubt patiently waiting for July 1st so they can see the reinstatement of the 10% they had lost on 2021 in the midst of the COVID pandemic and a fragile economy. But while the percentage will be forthcoming, President of the Belize National Teachers Union, Senator Elena Smith, says there are still some clarifications among teachers and public officers that ought to be made over what the reinstatement of the 10% actually means.
It's going to be reinstated because I think some persons had a different understanding, and some people thought that, well, come July 1st, I will be getting back that whole year that I lost. And so what the government, what the government promised was that it would reinstate the 10% come July 1st. So come July 1st, you are going to be getting the salary that you were getting before the 10%. As far as we are aware, we have not gotten any other update. That should proceed as indicated, and we should be expecting that will be happening on July 1st.
Smith advises teachers that while their salaries will be fully restored, their increments will remain frozen until the government indicates otherwise. That, Smith said, is still another year away based on their dialogue with government representatives.
They have said that the increments will remain frozen for at least another year. And so we are expected to continue discussions, since that is still going to be happening, to continue discussions as we go forward, because there has to be a discussion as to what will happen when the time comes for increments to be reinstated as well. How that will work out, where will teachers be or public officers be, where will we be on the pay scale, will we go to the correct pay scale? So there are certain things that we have to discuss as it relates to the increments. I think the salary is easier because you just go right back to your correct point, but with the increment, it's a little bit different, and so there has to be some discussions as to how that is going to work out when that time comes.
It's Teachers Week, and in tandem with that observance is a list of activities around the country to highlight teachers' efforts. Thursday is set aside as Teachers' Day, and on Friday, teachers have the day off. President of the Belize National Teachers Union, Senator Elena Smith, says it is important to pause and acknowledge the challenges teachers are faced with.
All of us as community should be celebrating the importance and the work of our teachers. Unfortunately, we have seen where, as time goes by, the day is only being celebrated by teachers themselves, and so the teachers have to be the ones to, be seeking out prizes. Sometimes the schools or the union go out and seek prizes that we can raffle for our teachers so that they can get something for the day. When it's at the school level, the school does fundraising, most of them, to prepare an activity to award teachers. They get their, the award for years of service and different little awards. So really and truly, it's a time where the entire community, our parents, our students, all our other stakeholders, even media, should be recognizing and should be taking some time out to at least give some appreciation to our teachers for the work that they do.
The Carl Huschner Memorial Hospital is staffed with 170 nurses. On each shift, 5 nurses are assigned to each of the 13 units that make up the facility. A registered nurse can make anywhere between $9 and $15 an hour. Dependent on where they are on the pay scale, what they take home in salary is oftentimes just enough to make ends meet. Additionally, 30% of the nurses at the KHMH are reportedly single mothers. So these nurses are always looking for opportunities where they can make a better income with more benefits overseas. The KHMH has reportedly lost about 70 nurses over an extended period due to migration. But there are those nurses who chose to remain at the KHMH in service to Belizeans. Nurse Casilda Bowman heads the COVID and emergency units. News 5's Paul Lopez spoke with her on the occasion of Nurses Week 2022.
So let's raise up candles and light up the sky.
When I look back on the last 2 years in the pandemic, one of the things that that resonated with me was having empathy. Sometimes, yes, we can physically treat patients, but being empathetic is one of the most important ingredients in providing health care for patients. And I recognize that, and I've seen it day in, day out as we come to work every day, we realize that, yes, we need to have a little bit more empathy. And that was one lesson that I personally learned, how to try to be more empathetic to our patients.
The importance of the nursing profession to the KHMH became more evident at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, when beds were filled to capacity. These unsung heroes braved out the extended shifts in hazmat suits and limited refreshments. Currently, they are experiencing some relief. Still, the work continues.
It has not passed really, it has slowed down quite significantly, but yes, we do have a steady increase of numbers on a daily basis. We have more numbers in the accident and emergency right now, but yes, COVID has certainly decreased. And what can I say? We're not really relaxing because we still need to provide patient care for all patients that comes in.
Bowman says that treatment is not limited to physical care. She believes a nurse should be prepared to offer emotional and spiritual care to a patient. In fact, the only human interaction many patients who were admitted to the COVID-19 unit had was with these nurses.
One of the things to really understand as nurses, yes, we are individuals. And so, yes, we do come with our own baggage. You know, we have issues at home. You know, you come here, you're morally distressed because you're overworked, you know, you're understaffed, and that adds to it. But I do believe, and for me here at Carl Hochner, we do offer care for anybody who comes in. When I look at any patient that comes into the hospital, for me, I want to try to provide holistic care for all patients. And that does not only mean physical care, but emotional, spiritual care as well.
May 6th to the 12th is celebrated as Nurses Week in Belize. This year's theme is Nurse, a Voice to Lead, Invest in Nursing, and Respect Rights to Secure Global Health. The theme is fitting as great investment in nursing may be the solution to migration and understaffing issues being faced currently.
When I think about investment, I really do think about having more opportunities for our nurses. I think we have a lot of people who would be willing to go into the profession, but opportunities really help play a key in it. Also, as working in the unit as a leader, one of the most important things in strengthening our staff is mentoring. And so for me, I am trying to mentor as much people to be leaders because I actually do see a lot of potential that our nurses have. And so investing in our people helps to strengthen our infrastructure.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Just ahead, Julius Espat says building 10,000 houses is dreaming big. But first, here's a weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
of Belize.
This May will be amazing at Benny's. Get amazing deals and great gifts from Mom. We have Pyrex Bakeware, Chicago Cutlery Knife Sets, Corningware, Snapware, and the elegant yet durable Coral Dinnerware Sets at amazing prices. Check out our impressive line of Sankey appliances and much, much more. Take advantage of these amazing deals all May long, only at Benny's, celebrating 75 years of quality and savings.
We live in a world obsessed with the latest trends, fashions, and lifestyles, setting unrealistic expectations and wanting to alter everything about ourselves. How is this affecting our self-worth? What if we were able to silence all the noise and focus on what really matters? Join us right here for Sagebrush Church as we begin our new series, Identity Theft, where we will discuss how to live in a world with ever-changing standards of perfection.
Team
Today at the Mamel curve on the Philip Gosen Highway, ground was officially broken to signal the upgrade of the highway from mile 24 in Biscayne to the Santa Elena border, including the Remate bypass. It is being made possible through funding from the Caribbean Development Bank, UK aid, and the government of Belize at a price tag of approximately $114 million. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports from Orange Walk.
If you've traveled north, you would have noticed that construction has been ongoing for quite some time along the Philip Gosen Highway, with roundabouts being built and several areas along the stretch widened, sidewalks and bus sheds installed. It is all part of a $114,000 road upgrading project.
Total value is approximately $114 million divided into 4 lots. The contractors are Tycrob and Cisco Construction.
To ensure that Belize gets value for this upgrade, the Ministry of Infrastructure Development serves as the project execution unit to supervise and work in conjunction with an engineering consulting company out of Italy.
We've always had the same vision for the construction projects, which is providing our services always focusing on the impacts and the consequences of the built environment on communities and their territories in order to guarantee and safeguard inclusive, resilient and sustainable benefits to both of them. Connecting communities, creating infrastructures that foster growth, prosperity and social equality while respecting the environment and people's well-being is still our job and our mission today.
The road upgrade will be resilient to future climate changes and will allow for safer travels and faster connections. The Philip Gosen Highway spans over 148 kilometers and services the country's productive sectors such as sugarcane, tourism and services sector. It connects Belize and Mexico and facilitates trade.
It is in keeping with our firm commitment to improving the standards of living of all Belizeans by providing access to meaningful employment, affordable health care, better education standards, and those services aimed at a better quality of life for all our people. The Philip Gosen Highway and the Remate Bypass upgrading project is expected to achieve all this and more. With the upgrading of the Remate Bypass, of what we refer to as the shortcut to Cherombal, the route to the Mexican border will be shortened by almost 3 kilometers. This is something that will positively impact travel time and it will increase efficiency.
Similarly to the road safety projects, the works will see new drainage, lay-by bus stops and other road safety features between miles 24 in Biscayne and the Santa Elena border. The Caribbean Development Bank is assisting with financing for the project. Since 1996, the bank has provided $330 million Belize dollars in loan and grant financing to the country.
CDB has been and remains a long-term partner of the government and people of Belize as they strive to achieve their development objectives. Belize is a founding member of the bank, and 2022 marks the 52nd year of operation. Since its inception, CDB has provided funding resources to Belize for improving agriculture, tourism, water and sanitation, electricity, transportation, housing, health, education, and citizen security. While the bank has had an impact on many sectors in Belize, a lot of our support has involved road infrastructure improvements.
Twain Moody for News 5.
Today, Minister of Infrastructure Development and Housing, Julius Espat, confirmed that the rehabilitation of the Philip Golson Highway and the Remate Bypass was a project that began under the previous UDP administration. He explains that the Briceño administration has no issue with continuing the project, which was the responsible thing to do.
We are a responsible government. We follow through with projects that we believe are positive for country. That is what a responsible government does. And so we have no shame in saying that it's a continuation of something that was established before. They did everything that they thought was necessary at the time. And when we came into government, we saw that the project was viable. We sat with the lending institutions and we gave them the go-ahead. We have no way of undermining. Because if we undermine a project that's for the benefit of Belize, we undermine Belizeans. So I have no problem sharing whatever they want to share. We're Belizeans at the end of the day. You know. I only deal with them as an opponents a couple of weeks before election. Before that, I can work with them.
While groundbreaking took place today for the Philip Golson Highway, Minister Julius Espat says that there are already discussions about other road projects, including the upgrade of the George Price Highway from San Ignacio to Benque and San Esteban Village.
The one from San Ignacio to Benque is there. The rehabilitation of the George Price is under us. The one from Ladyville to Biscayne is under us. Another example is the Roaring Creek area where we insisted that they put in the pedestrian walkways. We are about right now to do an adjustment to the approach to the Roaring Creek Bridge, because if you're aware, when they had the flood the last time, the little piece that approaches the bridge gets flooded, so we'll be dealing with that part too. In San Esteban, we will be paving the middle of San Esteban, the village itself, and we are working on the bidding process to get the main road paved. So both will be, the San Esteban will see the main road from Orange Walk, Tong to San Esteban paved, but before that they will see the inside of the village, the main artery of the village paved. I think it's very important. These villages have not seen that kind of attention for donkey's years. We are patchers of holes. We are collectors of garbage. We are pavers of roads. We are graders of rural roads. We build bridges. We're going to do a hammock bridge right now in the Kaya West area. We build houses and we inspire people.
The upgrade of the coastal highway has been a little tricky. Also inherited from the previous administration, works are approximately 70% done. It is estimated to be fully completed within a year's time, as the government is trying to ensure that the road is not prone to flooding.
The coastal highway, again, an inherited project by us. That's a difficult one though, because that one is in a real flood zone. And even with the UK government, when we came in, there were complaints that there was the sizes of the culverts was not adequate for the animals to pass. And we sat with the UK government, we sat with all the environmentalists, and we made some structural changes to the culverts so that they can follow the specifications that they were recommended. That financing, we did it on our own. The supervisors are the same supervisor from here at Polytechnica. The contractor is different. The supervisors from the Ministry of Work is still the project execution unit. The update report that I have received, they're on schedule. They had a couple setback when we had some of the floodings. They had a couple setback during COVID, but they have made up the time and they're on schedule.
So set to be completed when?
A year is left.
If you commute to and from Belize City via the Philip Golson Highway, you would notice that construction of the new Halover Bridge is already underway. Today, the Minister of Infrastructure Development also confirmed that remedial work will soon commence on the portion of the highway where the embankment had washed away. But there is a bigger concern facing the ministry. Minister Julius Espat says that the Belcan and swing bridges are in bad condition and need to be replaced as soon as possible.
Swing bridge has to be replaced, but because of the work that was recently done, it prolongs the life a little bit more. The one that worries me is the Belcan. The Belcan Bridge is in a state of disrepair that only if you go under the bridge will you understand it. So with that, I went and I'm seeking financing. I think we are very close to obtain financing to replace both the Swing Bridge and the Belcan Bridge, because if not, somebody will get hurt, and we don't want that. But getting back to your question, the Hallova Bridge is on stream. They are on schedule, and we have also the portion of that road leading to after the Hallova Bridge that got washed away by the river. That's already, the retaining walls have been casted. They are curing right now, and after that they will be placed.
Will GOB meet the 10,000 house threshold that they promised to the Belizean people? Minister of Housing Julius Espat says the simple answer is not in a 5-year term. About 170 houses have been contracted out, with keys having been handed out to deserving persons, primarily single-parent families and others in need. Minister Espat says while the 10,000 houses will not be achieved, every house is one more than the next.
On the budget that we had last year, we only had a budget for about 125 to 150 houses. We ended up contracting out more than that. And so we were contracted out about 170 houses. Right now we are still in the process of handing them over. Most of them are in the last phase or completed, but we haven't officially handed them over. Yesterday we handed over 3, and today we'll be handing over another 4, and we continue the work. You should join us when we do it, though, because the reaction that we are getting from the people that are receiving these homes, it's emotional.
10,000 houses in 10 years was such a eye-grabber for Belizean voters. How far will we miss that mark in the first 5 years of the Briseno administration?
You dream for the stars. And if you reach the moon, then that's also positive. You can't put your eyes very low. You got to put your sights very far. And we did it purposely so that we could pressure ourselves. There are economic realities that we have to face, and we understand that. We will not reach the 10,000 houses. I've been saying that to your boss from the day he asked me the first time. That will not be achieved because of the economical constraints. Not because we can't build them, but we go as the budget is provided to us. This year, they provided us a little bit more budget than they did last year, and so we will continue doing the work.
The Turks and Caicos Islands are hosting the 52nd annual meeting of the Caribbean Development Bank, of which Belize is a borrowing member. The meeting is described as the single most important meeting in the bank's annual agenda. This is where members of the Board of Governors convene to chart the future of the bank, as well as to receive updates on critical operational development. This year's meeting is being held under the theme Measuring Better to Target Better, Adaptation and Resilience. Charles Missick, the Premier of Turks and Caicos and the Chairman of the Board of Governors, opened the meeting at today's ceremony.
This meeting and similar undertakings of this nature, and I'm referring to the CDB Board of Governors meeting, are beneficial to both the region and to Turks and Caicos. It is beneficial because it sustains the partnership as we work towards sustainable development goals of the United Nations, and more importantly, to decrease our vulnerabilities and to build resilience. Very important aspects and targets of our relationship. The time and circumstances, in my view, Mr. President, are appropriate for effecting the policies and strategies for the change that we all envision. And so we must embrace each opportunity, and this is one that I truly embrace, to deepen our CARICOM relationship. This meeting and the related dialogue have the potential to aid in shaping the society and creating the future that all our citizens deserve.
At the top of the agenda for this year's meeting are climate change and sustainability. Dr. Hyginus Leon, president of the Caribbean Development Bank, explained the importance of measurement in informing the bank's development strategies. Here is what he had to say.
But the idea is always that when we grow, when we move forward, we do that in a complete and holistic way so that the development is not lopsided. And I think we only need to think back a little how we came up with words like inclusive, because we were growing, but now we found out we had left some people behind. We are now talking climate. Why? Because we grew, but we left Mother Earth behind. And we are talking about sustainable. Why? Because we grew, but the growth was a sugar high, not able to sustain itself. And so it is these things that keep us, as it were, focused on. It has to be holistic, has to be sustainable, has to be inclusive, so that when we advance together. We advance as a whole. And so the idea of focusing this year on the first of the three pillars, the measure better to target better, is I think just what we say you do in the TCI, you measure twice. I have a friend who says you need to measure twice and cut once. Let's do it right in the first place. That's the very easy way to understand this. But in principle, you cannot target, you cannot look to achieve if you haven't got measurement. And the better that measurement, then the better you are able to target and focus your mind in a better space.
Up next, remembering Leonora Patnet, a flashback on her centennial years when we return.
Off goal! What a goal from Leo Messi! What an incredible strike from Leo Messi! Neymar and Messi is standing over this. Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo
Great entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
Village council elections are set to get underway in the weeks ahead, and preparations have been made by all stakeholders, including the Elections and Boundaries Department, as well as both major political parties, to ensure that the process runs smoothly in all communities across the country. Earlier today, we spoke with Cayo South Area Representative Julius Espat about his involvement with the elections in his constituency. Here's what he shared.
I'm not a magician. I don't predict. All I do is put in the work. And we have put in the work, and we will be with our people starting on Sunday. They will make the decision. If they believe we are doing a good enough job, they will elect us. If they believe that they want to do a protest vote, we welcome it, because if they do a protest vote, then I will just have to put in more work to be able to assist them. The politics in the villages is different from general election. Everybody in Cayo South knows that I only become political a couple of weeks before election. After that, I serve everybody. And so, but it's democracy. I would love to see the other side having more than 5 seats. Well, I think 4, because one not come. 4 seats. We need a vibrant opposition. You know who am I shadow minister? You don't know, no, Joe? Mr. Grijalva. The gentleman that destroy the ruins of Orange Walk.
One's a pastor, sir. The one is a pastor, he says.
I pray for him.
Criquehute village in the Toledo district has a new water system. The new system was officially opened on Monday and consists of 2 water tanks, and where wells once kept the residents' clothes clean and their wash basins full, a network of pipes and faucets have replaced the outdated system. But Minister of Rural Development Oscar Requena encouraged the residents to take care of the new system they have.
2, 3. There you go. Congratulations. Come on, a bigger round of applause than that. So, congratulations. All right, there we go. 1, 2. And there's water. And there's water. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I want you to watch that camera there, eh? Okay, so while Father Sam left the building, I want to invite...
Yeah, that's true, but no, see? Come, this time, come.
A road traffic accident claimed the life of a woman on the Hummingbird Highway. The deceased, identified as 64-year-old Bernalda Pinello, a resident of Mullins River Village in Stan Creek District, was traveling in the passenger seat of a pickup truck along with 53-year-old Paul Bernard when it collided into a James bus. The James bus was being driven at the time by 47-year-old Rolando Duran. He told police that he was traveling from the direction of Belmopan, and upon reaching between miles 2 and 3 on the Stan Creek Valley Road, he noticed the pickup truck coming out of the right side of a dirt road. Duran told police that he flashed his light and honked the horn to alert the other driver. He noted that the pickup truck stopped and reversed into the dirt road. Suddenly, he noticed the pickup truck sped onto the highway and then attempted to make a left turn. The bus driver says he applied his brakes, but he was unable to stop in time. The bus collided into the front portion of the pickup truck. On Monday, we announced the passing of Leonora Patnet, who was, up until yesterday, Belize's oldest woman. For the past 6 years, we have been covering the celebration of her birthday as she celebrated 103 to 108 years old. Tonight, we look back on those years that we sat with the centenarian as she shared her life story about Belize's colonial days with us. News 5's Isani Cayetano looks back on the life of Leonora Patnet.
We began documenting the life of Leonora Patnet, born on December 12, 1913, 3 years after she became a centenarian. Since then, we've featured the Wagner's Lane resident in our newscast every year on the occasion of her birthday. At 103 years old, the Albert constituent sat down with my former colleague, Andrea Polanco, to discuss tidbits of her past, growing up in colonial Belize.
Coming from over, by the bike and car me there in front of me, but I never realized that the car, I may say the car go straight, but I never thinking me a double. And when it double, the bicycle will touch the car, and by that make I fall down.
This is Leonora Harris Patnet. Today, she turns 103 years old. Although the Wagner's Lane resident started walking with a walker just a few years back, today she can still see and reads without a pair of glasses. Perhaps what is most striking about her is that she loves a good laugh and is quite the storyteller. Her mind is as sharp as it was decades ago.
I never get hurt, and they just that front way, you know. And the fella come and hold me and make I get up.
This is how long ago this?
Huh?
This is how long ago?
Oh, that's what I'm about. In the 30s.
So then time Belize me look very...
I'm in the 30s.
Then time Belize me look very different.
Oh, yeah, different.
3 years later, we visited her home on her 106th birthday. By then, she was on record as Belize's oldest woman. This is what she shared with us.
Only God could tell you. Only God could tell you that is He keeping me up. I pray that I live for seed, and anytime the God say, well, I'm ready for you, I'm ready to. Because it's a long time that I live.
It's a very long time. Did you expect to live this long?
No, I never expected.
Just last year, I had the privilege to sit with her. On that day, she was also visited by Prime Minister John Briceño, Mayor Bernard Wagner, and later by Albert Era Representative Tracy Panton. My conversation with the matriarch of Jump Street included her experience seeing several generations of her progeny grow to become men and women. You've seen your kids grow up to become adults, right? You've also seen your grandkids. How far down the family tree are we now? Great grand or just grand? You have great grandchildren or just grandchildren?
Great.
Talk to us about that feeling though. I mean, you've been around for several generations to see all of these people grow up under you and they're carrying on your family tradition and your family name.
I'll tell you about that. Then done married and have children too. And you mean mind them and then till they grow, good big man and have children.
On Monday, Leonora Patnet passed away peacefully at home. Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.